Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Buckeye Weekly Podcast. I am Tony Gerdeman, here as always with Tom, or Tom. How's it going?
Tony, by the tone in your voice, I can tell that you also know who won the bold prediction show last week. At some point, I mean, the good news is at some point you're just going to get used to losing these. I hope that our readers and members at BuckeyeHuddle.com are also getting accustomed to it so it doesn't sting too much every week when they lose. But yes, as per tradition, Tony, champ, right here, champion.
Tom, how many did you actually get right?
More than you and the readers combined. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, Tom, you won this week. I got 0 of my bold predictions correct. Not my fault, as we know. One of my predictions was Steel Chambers would get 1.5 tackles for loss. What did he do? He got a tackle for loss. Now, what did his counterpart do? Cody Simon, the two that play together, they switch off. Cody Simon had 2. So honestly, now that I'm talking myself into this, I feel like the Steel Chambers position of that will linebacker, actually, I think I'm right about, because when I say Steel Chambers, I mean will linebacker. And they got 3, which is twice what I predicted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you had only said the words average or will or Cody Simon, absolutely we could have that conversation. But instead we get to have the same conversation we seem to have every week, which is, the good news for you is there's a lot of home games at the start of the season, so the cot of shame is still several weeks away. So
there is that, and this isn't an accumulation. It's the bold prediction right before that trip that is really what determines this, because clearly we're not doing a best of, what would this be? I don't know how many home games to start. 9. It's not a best of 9.
5 home games to start. Yes. Sorry.
But should we go ahead and, this is the bold prediction show. It has involved the posters on the Buckeye Huddle message board now, and I will go ahead and for the second week in a row, the posters all struck out. So you are amongst fantastic company. Don't feel bad about it. This happens to the best of me. Now, I'll just run through these real quickly as to what they got wrong. Cosmo, the Buckeyes, said Ohio State would score their first points in the first 2 minutes of the game. They did not. They did, however, score their first points in the second half within the first 2 minutes, I believe. AZ Nate said defense or a special team score. That, in fact, did not happen, as we saw. 2 penalties negated a special team score, so it wasn't even really that close. There will be at least 3 lead changes. I think there were, 2? No, there's actually 1, because Arkansas State never had the lead. Fort Wayne Buckeye, his 1-pointer. Ohio State will have a big special teams play, either a blocked field goal, a blocked punt, a punt return, or a kickoff return for a touchdown. Of course, as we know, did not happen, was not close to happening, definitely didn't happen. Doss Buckeye is another one. Abuka returns a kickoff for a touchdown. He's not even the kickoff returner anymore. The 2-pointer from Cosmo the Buckeye, Denzel Burke gets an interception on the south side of the 50-yard line. He did not get anywhere near an interception, neither 50-yard line, north or south. 3-pointer, Mayan Williams will exceed, this is from Fort Wayne Buckeye, Mayan Williams will exceed his career high in rushing for a game by at least 17 yards, but by no more than 34 yards. That would have had to have put him between 142 and 159 yards. He fell short of that. And so those were all of the misses from the posters. Tom, do we want to go through all of what we got wrong, or do you want to just tell us what you got right? However you want to do it.
It was, I was not particularly close on a number of them. A lot of mine were predicated on Ohio State going and playing its depth a lot sooner than they did, which I think everyone was a little perplexed at why Ohio State did not play their depth as, a little earlier than they did, but they didn't. I had, the one that I hit was at least 8 Buckeyes are in the stat sheet column for tackles for loss. There were 3 in week 1. 8 was the same number as Akron last year, which is why we picked 8. And then the correct answer was 9. They had 9 guys in the stat sheet line for tackles for loss. So made it comfortably, never in doubt. And I knew I didn't want to run the score up because I don't want you guys to feel bad. So just felt just the one, that's plenty to get over the finish line against the competition I'm facing right now. So yeah, I thought that was rather sporting of me, very kind. And so yeah, that was it.
Tom playing down to the level of his competition. So let's begin this week. Ohio State playing Toledo. Tom, I went first last week, even though you kind of went first with your 220, 220. So I will let you go.
I want you to go first this week. I don't want there to be any excuses. I want you to be able to go first.
Tom, I am going to predict that Ohio State will rush and pass for at least 220 yards this week.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you give us a higher number? Say, hypothetically, if I had that on my list, why don't you go a little higher than that?
I can go 226 yards.
See, I was going to say 230. And last week I went to 237. So it feels like if you want it, you should really try and go for 237 because
I don't want it that bad.
Okay.
I only wanted 226.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want it at 230, you can have it, or even 226.
I will allow you to have it at 226.
Sounds like you don't really want it, so I will take 220.
226 is fine. I'll take 223, or you can have 226.
How about I take 224?
I'll take 225.
Then I will take 226. Tom, you drive a terrible bargain. But 226 yards rushing, 226 yards passing.
Just go ahead and mark this one correct right now, because what happens? I finally pass on this every year, and then the first time I pass on it, what happens? They do it, and they do it against an in-state MAC opponent. So congratulations. Just mark that one correct already.
Tom, did you see what UMass did to Toledo?
I saw they scored 10 points.
They rushed for 200 yards on them.
Don't like that.
But it took them like 50 attempts, but still, like running the ball 50 times lets you know. But it feels Ohio State at some point has to hit like 250 yards rushing. And if they do, you feel like they're going to hit the necessary 226 yards passing, but it just doesn't happen. So I guess I will take that one.
All right. So my first one, Ohio State scores a touchdown of exactly 17 yards. 1 point.
Okay. Wow, that changes something for me. All right, 17-yard touchdown. I like it. I have to like it because I have one similar for a 2-pointer.
That sounds about right.
All right, no, I also have incorporated. It's time to get the 17 and 34 back into the show. Like we need, and not that we keep it out, but I like the definitive nature of this 17-yard touchdown. But it may have negated something that I wanted to do, which now has to be a 1-pointer. And I'm just going to tell you what it was, and we're not even going to use it because of the nature of it. But Toledo, Northwest Ohio, 419 area code. Now they also have 567 area code. That's a lesser area code. 419. I was saying Ohio State would score a touchdown from the 4, the 1, or the 9. Or the 41 or the 19. I'm throwing this completely out, though, because your 17-yard, that's just one. I was trying to get away with
5.
3-5. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm throwing that one out. And we'll have to come up with something on the fly, which will be fine because I ain't getting any of these right anyway. But yes, I completely will allow that 17-yard touchdown because, that's a roulette spin. And it's canon.
Go ahead. You're number 2 pick.
Toledo quarterback Daquan Finn is a returning starter. Started about 8 games last year. Played every game. Threw 2 interceptions all season long. Ohio State has yet to force a turnover this season. I am saying they have at least 2 interceptions this weekend, tying the season total of last year for Daquan Finn.
Tony, my next one is Ohio State has yet to force a turnover at any point this year. They forced 2 interceptions on Saturday.
If you want 3, you can have it.
I don't think I want 3.
What happens now?
Do you
we
want
both
3?
Get it?
Do you want 3?
No, I do not want 3. Wait, no. I would take 3 for 2 points because I need a 2.
3 interceptions, but you must add in the identity of one of the people with an interception in order to get 2 points.
All right, Daquan Finn.
If he intercepts his own pass and it shows up as an interception on the stat sheet, I will allow that. I will give you 3 points.
No, okay, so I don't even like that. 3 interceptions is a lot. How about this? Ohio State will force 3 turnovers, including 2 interceptions for 1 point.
I will allow it, yes.
Okay, 3 turnovers plus 2 Daquan Finn interceptions. Okay, all right, that's a 1-pointer. That's a big one, but so is yours. That's fine. All right, what do you got?
All right. Well, now I'm down to. I had a couple extras, and now I'm down to exactly 5. So you better like these. No Ohio State running back has gone over 100 yards in the first 2 games of the season. A Buckeye runs for 120 yards or more. An individual Buckeye runs for 120 yards or more on Saturday. They're still splitting carries. I don't. You're not getting probably 20 carries from anyone. Like, this feels like someone probably needs to be averaging 10-ish yards per carry in order to hit that number, which is why they have not come close to hitting it yet.
Probably have to average about 8 or 9. And I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more. So you said 120?
I said 120 or more, yes.
Okay, but any carry of 17 or 34 does not count.
You have to pick one of those. 34 takes more yards off.
And they're both... Is that right, Tom? Is that correct?
We were talking before we started recording about the math classes you took in elementary school. So, I mean, sometimes I feel like I need to point these things out.
And again, they were for the smart kids. So 120 yards rushing for either... I kind of want you to... I'm not going to do the 1734. I'd just rather you name the name.
Travion Henderson or Mayan Williams. Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson runs for 120 yards or more on Saturday.
All right. 120 plus or more. Okay. All right. Yeah, because we've got other shows to record, Tom. We can't just be hemming and hawing on this stuff. All right. My third 1-pointer. Sophomore wide receiver Emeka Egbuka will score twice on Saturday. Never been done in the history of football. Emeka will score 2 touchdowns on Saturday. And this is with the return of, as Ryan Day said on Thursday, possibly Julian Fleming, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and maybe even Cam Babb. I'm still saying this is still going to be Emeka's time to shine. Tom, what do you say?
I pretty much have to allow it. And picking anyone to score multiple touchdowns in a game is going to happen less than 50% of the time for pretty much anyone. So this feels like this is pretty much automatically. I have to approve it. He's not returning kicks anymore. I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute. But you might see him. He might steal one in the punt return. But yeah, it could be that you've seen them give him the ball in the jet sweep. You've seen them throw to him. He scored a touchdown through the air last week. So yes, I pretty much have to allow it. I don't love it, but I have to allow it.
That's the best kind, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, so through 2 weeks of the season, Toledo was averaging 4 rushing touchdowns per game, 8 touchdowns on the ground through 2 games. Tony, 0 rushing touchdowns for Toledo on Saturday.
Ohio State has given up, 1 rushing touchdown this season?
Ohio State has given up 1 touchdown this season, period.
Right, and was it a rushing touchdown, I think? Yeah. So they're averaging a touchdown rush per game allowed. And you're saying they're going to be 1 below that?
Yes, well, here's the thing. They have to play a team, and the team that they're playing has done it a lot this year. So that's kind of the point of me setting it up with 4 touchdowns on the ground.
How can I adjust this? Because it's an either-or thing, and this is something where Ohio State's run defense has been very, very good. So, they should not allow any rushing touchdowns. I only have them scoring 1 touchdown in the game. So now it's a 50-50 proposition, and that doesn't feel very bold. So I have to make it bolder for you because you will not. So I will allow this rushing touchdown, but it cannot be any touchdown from a yard line that ends in 7.
So they can't score a touchdown, and also they can't score a touchdown from a yard line that ends in 7?
Yes. No. No, I'm just, there's no way to make this even, I can't, 0 is like absolute, so I can't do anything with it. And I thought you said 1.
Congratulations. You have also mastered the concept of 0, something that was mastered, like 2,500 years ago in the Middle East, I believe. So yes, good job, bud.
No. I was lost in thought there as I'm trying to figure out, because again, this is a 50-50 thing, and that doesn't feel very bold.
I will tell you what, I'm going to give you another rushing related one. And this was going to be kind of a multiple choice thing, and you can tell me where you want this to go. But in order for the 0 rushing touchdown one to count, this other one also has to hit, whichever one it is. Okay? So,
right.
Ohio State is rushing for 5.57 yards per rush this season. Do you know how many yards per rush Toledo is running for this year?
5.5.
5.54. So they are 0.03 yards per rush apart thus far this season. So you can either give me Buckeyes outrush Toledo by 2 yards per carry for 1 point, Buckeyes outrush Toledo for 3 yards per carry for 2 points, or Buckeyes outrush Toledo for 4 yards per carry for 3 points. And then this one, whichever one you pick, this one would have to hit in order for the 0 rushing touchdowns one to count.
I think you don't understand. Toledo's not going to rush the ball against Ohio State. And Ohio State will run the ball.
That's why yards
there's
per
nothing
carry.
bold about.
That's why yards per carry is that if they run the ball 10 times and they run it for 50 yards, then they're rushing it for 5 yards per carry, and then Ohio State would have to outrush, have to run for 9 yards a carry in order to hit the 4. It's yards per carry. It's not total yards.
No. They're going to run it 25 times for 50 yards, and Ohio State's going to run it 25 times for 180 yards. Like, there's nothing bold about a 4-yard difference even in this game. Like, you're going to have to go way better. I'll give you the 0 touchdowns if you just don't even mention the yards per attempt anymore, because that's just insulting.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think Toledo's going to be able to run the ball some. And doing it on a yards per carry, not on a total rushing yards, yes. Yards per carry, that's a pretty good sized gap. If Toledo even runs it for 3 yards a carry, which is a bad day, Ohio State would have to average 7. When was the last time Ohio State averaged 7 yards a carry?
The last time Ohio State averaged 7 yards a carry,
feels like it's been a while.
They were 6.5 last week.
Mm-hmm. Is that more than 7 or less? Feels like it's less.
I'm just telling you, it's pretty close. And then, 8.5 against Purdue last year, several games with 7. Defensively is really what we need to be talking about for Ohio State. And they're giving up 2.5 yards per carry against Notre Dame, 1.5 against Arkansas State. So we should assume they're going to average 2 yards a carry. They're giving up 2 yards a carry right now. So, expect Toledo to be 2.5, maybe. And Ohio State should be at 6. So, that's already 3.5 yards per carry. And that's what they should do. And you're trying to tell me that's a 3-pointer.
All right. So let's settle the rushing touchdowns one first. Are you okay with 0 rushing touchdowns?
I'm absolutely not okay with it, but I will allow it.
Okay, good. That's all I needed to hear. What's your next one?
Toledo will rush for at least 1 touchdown now. Let's have the entire thing just hinge on that one. If I'm so unhappy, then let's just really let it ride. No, Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau will combine for at least 2 sacks. And I think I've gotten no predictions correct based on sacks in the history of our bold predictions. But I'm going to say, and this is almost just a complete throwaway because I know it's not going to hit. It'll be like 1.5 or whatever. Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau combined for 2.5 sacks. And so help me if they only combine for 1 and it's the same sack. But whatever. What do you say, Tom?
Well, I have a related one here. I have at least 3 Buckeyes who have not recorded a sack this year end up in the sack column on Saturday.
I think they can both coexist, though, because you're talking...
Yes, because neither Sawyer nor Tuimoloau has done it. So both of those would count towards mine, but I would still need another one.
Mine is more bold, though, because I'm naming names and going full sacks, whereas you're just going random guys who have not yet done it and half a sack.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you're getting a little bit overly hostile because you've lost a couple weeks in a row and saying some things we probably don't mean and trying to hurt some feelings is what I feel like right now.
Facts don't have feelings, Tom. I'm just giving you facts here. So you're saying, okay, three players, but
3 players who have not recorded a sack this year. Yeah.
But it has to at least total 2 rather than 1.5 as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I hope people enjoy this show because I hate it. 3 players without sacks get sacks. All right. Totaling at least 2. All right. My shorthand is totally worthless. Here's one that I went with last week, Tom. And if it's bold enough for last week and miss, I'm sure it's going to be bold enough to be a miss this week. And I might just ride this one until it happens. G. Scott will have a touchdown catch this week. I think they're going to reward him for being such an integral part of the offense last week that people don't even realize with the way they were playing the fronts. And, he forced the Arkansas State defense to do some different things. So I'm going to say they're going to reward him. They want to get him involved. Touchdown catch. And this is with all of these receivers coming back now. Now I'm thinking about it. It's like, but I'm just going to keep riding this one. This is my, every week I'm just going to go with this one.
Yeah, definitely stick with the one that keeps not hitting for you. That has worked out great for me. You should definitely stick with it. I will say all the same things I said last week. I know why you're saying this. I agree with it. I can't argue with the fact that it's bold because it hasn't happened. So yes, I have to allow you to take it. But I feel like this is better than 50-50 to hit in some ways, based on stuff, but also based on the fact that they like to reward guys who have done the dirty work in the past, so that it feels like something where they may try and get him one. So I must allow it, but I don't like it.
Good old Rock.
Next one for me, final 1-pointer for me. Ohio State is currently averaging 8 penalties, which ties them for 98th in the country. 8 penalties per game, 80 yards in penalties per game. That is 117th in the country. Tony, I think Ryan Day has cracked the whip this week. They cut both of those numbers in half. No more than 4 penalties, no more than 40 penalty yards.
Yeah, I like that one, and it has to happen. So this is, I'm going to allow it because it is a sizable downturn. However, again, this is one of those where we don't like giving this one up because it makes sense and it hasn't happened yet, but like it needs to happen and it should happen. And this is the week they should be focused enough to make it happen. But I will reward you with coming up with something like this. There's been a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering in the show. You've been a lesser person because of it, but I will be the bigger person and allow this one. Now, Tom, I have to come up with a 2-pointer, and I'm just trying to look around the house here. Looking for ideas. Lamp shade, pop bottle,
wainscoting for 2 points. Yes or no? Yeah, I will tell you what. I have had to shuffle my list around a little bit because I took a 2-pointer and tweaked it a little bit and moved it to a 1-pointer. So I'm going to give you this one. My initial one was Ohio State is 100% in the red zone. I will, in order to turn it into a 2-pointer, say that they must score at least 5 red zone touchdowns. They must be 5 for 5 or better in the red zone. 100% at the end of the game for 2 points.
Yeah, I'll allow that one. That's good. That's more bold than just bold. So I can't dispute that one. I will also say that. No,
I like the fact that you're playing for a tie here. Just listen. I just want to not lose. Like, congratulations, you are the 1992 Buckeyes of bold predictions. Way to go!
Huzzah! Let's see. What can I do for a 2-pointer that is similar to what I've already written down, so that I don't have to write down something new? How about this, Tom? Any 3 Ohio State touchdowns, I will be able to add up the yardage, and they must fall somewhere between 57 and 67 yards.
57 and 67 yards. Okay, this feels like a trap because...
I promise you it is not.
Well, here's why this feels like a trap. This feels like a trap because they're going to I have them picked to score 6 touchdowns on Saturday. And this is one of these things that I haven't even, like, normally you have some kind of an idea, like you will have looked this up in the past and, hey, here's a reasonable expectation for this type of situation.
There's nothing.
I have no historical basis for this. This could have happened 6 of the last 9 games, or it could have happened 3 times in program history. I don't really know.
Well, do you want to know if it happened last week?
Well, they had 2 touchdowns of 42 yards, and I feel like they must have had a 7-yarder, right? So that'd be 49. Didn't they have a 14-yarder?
I'll just bring up the.
It feels like they had like a 9 and a 14 and a couple 42s last year. That would have been.
Yeah, they had a 42 and an 8, so that's 50. And can I get in there? No. No, I couldn't have gotten it last week. Although with those, but there's a 30-yarder and a like a 31-yarder. So I think that would have hit. Obviously, Tom, you can do the math on that one.
Yes, that would be 61, but that would only be 2. So you said a combination of 3. So was there a third one that would have?
Oh, well, maybe. Yeah, that's now that's something else you have to take into consideration. If they score just a bunch of long touchdown runs, now it gets a little difficult. But what do you think? 57 to 67 yards. I know you're probably going to try to tweak that down a little bit, but what have you?
I am, in fact, going to try and tweak that down a little bit. 10 yards feels a little generous for 2 points. So I think you could do, let's say, 6 yards for 2 points, or within a 2-yard span for 3 points.
I will go, how about this? 57 to 64, 7 yards for 3 touchdowns for 2 points.
57 to 64. Okay. I don't like this because I feel like, I feel like this is something that has probably happened like 5 times in the last year, and you're going to get 2 points for it, and I'm not going to care for that result at all. So I'm going to have to do an in-depth study this week on touchdown yardage combinations now. Which, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to like it, but I'm going to do it.
And find out later how angry you really have to be.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
All right. What is your 3-pointer?
Well, my 3-pointer, I think we just need to talk about what a 3-point outrush yards per carry number is here. Because I feel like I'm willing to go higher than I was before. I think the idea that they're going to, like 8 points for, 8 yards per carry for 1 point is ludicrous. 7, if they outrush Toledo by 7 yards per carry, that would be, even if they give up 1.5 yards per carry, 2 yards per carry, if they to run for 9 in a game and also give up 1.5 in a game is pretty, those are pretty big statistical outliers on both ends of the spectrum. So Ohio State outrushes Toledo by 7 yards per carry or more on Saturday for 3 points.
Yeah, I will allow that 7+ yards per carry for 3 points. That's not easy to do, and it's something where both sides have to step up. And so I have no problem with that one. Unless, of course, I'm going to be very angry if that's like 6.5 yards per carry for Ohio State and a negative half a yard per carry for Toledo. But
with all the Buckeyes who are going to be recording sacks for the first time on Saturday, I'd say it's close to a given that this will hit. But we'll see.
This is almost turning out to be like parlays on your bold predictions here, and those always hit.
Absolutely. If we've learned one thing. Always 100%. Just start spending the money as soon as you get the ticket in your hand. That's the lesson there. Yes.
So my last one, my 3-pointer. Linebacker Chip Trainum will return a kickoff of at least 70 yards. And if you just want, I just wanted to see your face. I just wanted to see how annoyed you got. A touchdown, Chip Trainum. Kickoff return for a touchdown. And I need to hedge that in case he doesn't return one. He will either return a kickoff for a touchdown or recover a fumble on kickoff coverage.
So he will return a kickoff for a touchdown, or he will recover a fumble on kickoff coverage.
Yeah, because he may not return anything, but he's going to be on coverage. So I need to have an opportunity to get 3 points on this. And recovering a fumble on a kickoff is,
And I think he's going to want to return it if there's anything that's returnable. But I don't think, I have Toledo projected to score 14 points this week. So you're looking at probably 3 kickoffs. I think I have to allow this. Yes, when was the last time a player told you specifically, this guy is going to return a kickoff for a touchdown this week? Because it feels like the answer to that is Tuesday. Nope, sorry, Wednesday. Wednesday. So it's been less than 24 hours since you were told that. So it feels, again, I said this on the Buckeyes This Morning episode that aired on Thursday. Feels like a little like insider trading here, but I guess Martha Stewart, I have to allow it.
Tom, by the way, have you looked up Toledo's kickoff coverage and how often they touch back on kickoffs?
I have not.
5 touchbacks on 18 kickoffs this year. So hopefully Chip, for himself, he gets an opportunity. But still, even if boldly predicting a kickoff return for a touchdown, no matter how many touchbacks happen or not, it's bold. It's a 3-pointer. And I'm hoping it happens.
We are credentialed media, so there's no cheering in the press box. There's no cheering on the field if you're credentialed media. But I got to tell you, if Toledo duck hooks a kickoff out of bounds, you're going to see me cheering in the end zone. I don't ask much, Toledo kicker, but just put one right out that sideline. You can do it. I believe in you.
You'll text me a picture of the ball landing dead on the sideline, 4 yards deep. I look forward to that one. Tom, anything else from this contentious episode? Normally these are so friendly.
Mm-hmm.
This one got a little heated, understandably so. But anything else before we go?
No, and for me personally, Tony, I hope you finally win one of these, because I think that will probably lower the level of contentiousness on these shows. I don't know. I feel like listeners like it better when we're a little contentious, which is, that's fine. That's I don't mind it, because it usually means I'm winning, because I'm quite generous in spirit at all times. Tony less so, especially when he's on a losing streak. Me perpetually riding a heater in this show makes it easy to be a little more, generous of spirit. But Tony, buddy, I hope someday this happens for you. I believe in you.
The only thing you left out was you little scamp. Very magnanimous.
If we were recording this in person, I would have tousled your hair, but we can't do that over the computer. So
yeah, no, I promise you that if I start winning again, this will not be any more congenial. This will continue to be contentious, only more so. But until that happens, until that great day happens, until that glorious day that we have all hoped for, that the stars have foretold would one day happen, and we keep longing for it and just hoping, until that day, we're just going to have to keep recording other shows. And then next week we'll be back here and we'll see how we did. And I think this is the week that maybe you know what? Maybe the posters, they'll get one right this week. Those guys can't even get any right. Maybe this will be the week that changes. So that will do it for us. If you listening would like to participate in this wonderful sporting contest, debacle, as Tom said, you can do you can do it at the Buckeye Huddle on the Huddle forum there. If you're not yet a member, go ahead and join. I will be posting our selections, our bold predictions here, there, here. Our bold predictions here, there. I am spent, Tom. Completely spent. But then, once I've posted those, you guys can throw yours in, and Tom and I will pick 5 that we like, 7 that we like, 5 1-pointers, a 2-pointer, and a 3-pointer. And then that's who we'll be competing against. And I have yet to lose to the posters, so that's really all that matters. I want to thank you all for joining us as always. Have a good one.